Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Crumble Takes, and on today's video we're going to do the same thing I did with the NFL playoffs. We're going over the finals team. Where's the best chance to win the NBA finals? This is my opinion, guys. I'm sorry if you get offended by it, if your team's low or your team's high and you're like, yay, he ranked my team high. I'm sorry, I apologize. Smash that subscribe button, like the video. This took a while to make. This is coming out the day of the first games of the NBA playoffs. So this did take a lot of editing and a lot of stuff, a lot of clip finding out of this to make this video, but I think I really enjoyed making it. So if y'all, like I said, smash the subscribe button, leave a comment on who you guys think is winning the NBA finals, and let's get into it with the worst team, who I think doesn't even have a chance of winning the NBA finals. Also, the seeding of each team will be listed in the corner. So the worst team in this year's playoffs, or the team that I don't even think has a chance at winning the NBA finals this year, is the Atlanta Hawks. Now these next teams that I'm going to be mentioning, that a lot of them don't even have a chance. I think the Hawks have the worst chance though. They've been so mid this year, and they're just a mid team, and they play the Boston Celtics in the first round. So I believe they're probably going to get swept or lose in 5. I mean, I probably don't even really need to discuss this. But yeah, the fact that they play the Celtics, man, Celtics in 5, Hawks really ain't got a chance. They've been mid. I mean, Trae Young, he's been mid this year. DeJounte Murray's been a little nice, but like I said, Celtics in 5, Atlanta ain't got a chance. The next team is the Miami Heat. Now, pretty much the same thing I said with the Hawks. They play the Bucks the first round. They're probably going to get losing like 5. I guarantee 5 or 4. They might get swept. Jimmy Butler, he's been a little nice this year, but the Hawks, the Heat, not the Hawks in general, have been not really that good. They were a 1 seed last year. They fall all the way down to 8th and had to play in the play-in. They were not playing that well versus Chicago and played bad versus Atlanta, so I can't see this team even getting a chance at winning the chip. I mean, let's be honest, they're playing the Bucks in 4, Bucks in 5. I mean, Bam played terrible in that playing game. Like, it's the Heat, man. If you're a 1 seed and you fall off to the 8th seed, that just tells you something wrong. Kyle Lowry's not the same. Like I said, Bucks in 4, Bucks in 5. The Heat, they ain't going nowhere. Up, we have the Brooklyn Nets. Now here's my take on the Nets and why they are this low on my list. Well, who else? I mean, they have kind of a decent squad. I mean, look at Mikal Bridges. This man's out here balling all-star level, even probably could be talked about a superstar level, but I can't see this team going this far in the playoffs. Why? Well, just all the other teams are just better than them. Like, they got a nice young squad. I mean, they got Mikal, they got Dinwiddie, they got some players on there. But if they're gonna end up playing Philly in the first round, I just don't see them beating Philly in the first round. To me, it doesn't make sense. I mean, look at them. The Nets are a 6 seed. I can't see them beating Philly and beating Embiid and Harden, 2 teams that really need to go out there and need to prove themselves to go win a championship. So I don't see the Nets winning that first round series. Honestly, I feel like this is one of the series where Mikal will just go off and like average 40 or something. Just Mikal will just go all out, but the Nets will still lose in like 5 or 6 because he doesn't have that good of a team, around him to compete with Philly, in my opinion. And that's why I have the Nets this low. Next up, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, another reason I don't have the Timberwolves high is they barely snuck in the playoffs. They choked versus the Lakers, and they beat OKC. I will not lie, I had OKC making the playoffs, but the Timberwolves had other plans. But okay, here's my take. Let's be honest. Do we really think that the Timberwolves are going to beat Denver? They play the 1-seeded Denver Nuggets. Jokic, like, let's be honest, I don't see them even beating the 1 seed. I mean, if they, let's just say hypothetically, they get past them, they're not going to beat Phoenix or the Clippers. Like, this is another one of them low-end teams that, like, don't even really have a chance to win the final just because they're a young, up-and-coming team and they're faced with a hard matchup. I don't see the T-Wolves going that far. I love Anthony Edwards, but I just don't see it with the T-Wolves. I don't think they get that far. So next up, I have the New York Knicks. Now, some people are why do you have the Knicks right here? Well, here is my problem with the New York Knicks. They're currently slated to play the Cavaliers in the first round. Here's my take on it. I think they're not going to be able to beat the Cavs team, even though they 4-1 versus them in the regular season. But I think this is playoff basketball. Donovan Mitchell becomes alive, and this man just starts absolutely hooping. My prediction for this series is going to 7, and the Cavs are going to eke out the win. But like I said, the Knicks, I just can't see them going past any far for the first round. If they somehow get past the first round, just the way the East is, I don't see them, if they end up playing against, let's say, Milwaukee or Philly or even the Celtics, I don't see them beating any of those teams. I feel like them 3 teams are just going to be superior in the East. So the Knicks are kind of going to be left out. And like I said, I believe that the Knicks will be getting eliminated in the first round versus the Cleveland Cavaliers just based on the matchup. I don't currently know if Randall is going to be playing the first game, but if Randall plays, Randall doesn't play, I still believe that the Knicks are going to get put out in the first round. Love the Knicks squad, love Jalen Brunson, but I don't believe they get past the Cleveland Cavaliers. Next up, we have the Sacramento Kings, a very underrated team going to this playoff, but I do have them low due to the fact that they do not have that much experience in the playoffs. As their first year going to the playoffs in a while. I do love this Kings squad, but they are faced with a tough challenge versus the Golden State Warriors in the first round. I know the Warriors have been kind of bad this year, but it's playoff time, man. I feel like the Warriors might change it up, and I think it's going to be a very close series, but personally, I have the Warriors winning that in 7. So, very close series, like I said, but if they even get past that, they're going to have faced a tough challenge of even taking on the Lakers or the Memphis Grizzlies, depending on who wins that series. I just don't think the Kings this year can be able to go on a run just because of how hard the West is. They would have to ball out, which, I mean, there's a chance they ball out. They got clutch player of the year. Sabonis was balling out this year. I just don't see them going on a finals run this year. Not with the West this stacked this year. Maybe next year, Sacramento. But like I said, this is probably their underdog as a 3 seed. I think Golden State takes them out first round. Just my take on it. Alright, so the next team that I have up is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now here's my take on the Cavs. I personally love the Cavs squad. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Okoro, and Jared Allen. That's starting 5 in general. I just love it. I love using them in 2K. I personally have the Cavs as my dark horse in the East. I don't know if anybody else does. I would assume some people do. But I have the Cavs as a little dark horse as somehow like somebody who could go ahead and go to the finals that weren't the big 3. In the East, I would pick the Cavs because they got a squad. I mean, Mitchell's out here, been balling this year, dropping 40-point games like crazy. Garland, he's been playing at a great level of point guard. Mobley hasn't made that step that I thought he was going to make, but he's still been balling out. And then Jared Allen's just an all-around great center. They have some good bench pieces, I feel like, too. So I feel like them playing the Knicks in the first round, like I said, I think they're going to beat them in 7 games, even though the Knicks kind of did have their number this year. But I do think that the Cavs will beat the Knicks and move on to the second round. So in my opinion, they're going to end up playing the Bucks in the second round. I think that's going to also be a cool second round matchup if everything goes the way that I think it's going to go. So Cavs, Bucks, that's where I got to stop them there because I don't think they're going to be able to pass a team like the Milwaukee Bucks who got all that playoff experience. But Mitchell in the playoffs, this man shows out. Like you can see, just look at his playoff game log. This man shows out in the playoffs. I'm really excited to see what this Cleveland team does, and that's why I have him here, my little dark horse team in the East. So next up we have the It's a Parade Inside My City, yeah team, or the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm sorry, that was kind of corny. I will never do it again. But I have the Grizzlies kind of low for being the 2 seed. Why, you might ask? Well, I personally do not see anything really special in this Memphis Grizzlies team this year. They are the 2 seed in the West, but personally, I have the Lakers beating them in the first round in a 7-game series. I think it's going to be very close. If they were to get past the Lakers, then they're going to have to play Golden State or the Kings. I think they will lose to them. Or somehow make it to the Western Conference Finals. They're probably going to end up playing KD and the Suns, the Nuggets. It's not going to be easy for them to get anywhere in the West. So that's why I have the Grizzlies this low. I just don't see them. They're a good team, young and up-and-coming team. I just can't see them this year going anywhere with how stacked this West is. I think that most of the teams in the Western Conference are just better than them. Maybe we'll see Golden State and Grizzlies go off again in the second round so we can see Draymond and Dylan Brooks go at it mid and mid. That'd be kind of cool. But like I said, I don't really see this Grizzlies team going anywhere this year. I'm not going to lie, when the season started for the Los Angeles Lakers, I had no hope for them when they started 2-10. I am not the biggest Laker fan in the world, I will admit. But what they've been doing recently has been pretty special to say. I know they didn't play great against Minnesota in the play-in game, but I got the Lakers here at number 7. I have a strong feeling. Now, this sounds like it's been really debated. I've seen people argue about it on Twitter. It's really debatable with some people. I believe that they can beat the Memphis Grizzlies in a 7-game series. I mean, come on. Steven Adams is out. That's going to be a huge problem for for the Memphis Grizzlies. Huge problem. So, I think that the Lakers can definitely beat the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, the next team I have on this list, I will just offer it now, is Golden State. So if they were to beat the Memphis Grizzlies, and let's say Golden State beat the Kings or something, they'd play Golden State next. I feel like that would also be a close series. So, I don't know if the Lakers really have that. Like I said, there's more teams on this list, so I think they have a higher chance of winning the finals. But I feel like the Lakers maybe could have a possibility of going on a little run here. potentially. I mean, D'Lo's been pretty good this year. AD, when he's healthy, he's been a beast. And LeBron's just, he looks like he's back in 2013 for the Heat. He's just balling out like he's King James. Oh, wait, he is King James. So I got the Lakers here. D'Lo, Austin Reeves, bro. They got a nice squad in LA. I really like what they're doing. I know they didn't play particularly well in the playing game, but like I said, I think the Lakers, they deserve a spot here. Mini dark horse team, I would say. Next up, we have the Golden State Warriors. Now, when I was first trying to decide to make this list, I was like, I don't think I should be high on Golden State. I mean, they've been trash on the road. I was just like, eh. But I figured I have to give some credit to Golden State. I mean, Curry and Clay have looked pretty good in the past few games. And I think if they can just change the stuff, we got Wiggins coming back at the end of the year right now. Probably going to play game 1 versus the Kings. Maybe the Warriors can somehow go on a run. You never know. The Warriors, Stephen Curry, I can't doubt them. Like, you never know what could happen with them. They play the Kings. I think it could be a very close series. I think Sacramento might win, but I feel like the Warriors have the edge in this one. I think it might go to 6 or 7, but I think the Warriors can definitely win this. And then if they end up having to play any team, like if they're winning, have to play like the Lakers or Memphis is one of them win, I think they'll beat the Lakers or Memphis. I personally think the Lakers are going to win that series, but like I said, I honestly think the Warriors might be able to do some damage. You never know. They might be going back to the Western Conference Finals, a Suns versus Warriors Western Conference Finals. I mean, hey, I ain't complaining. That sounds like some amazing basketball right there. KD versus former team. So I definitely got to give props to the defending champs, man. Stephen Curry, he could easily just go on a run, I feel like, and just start going nuclear versus these teams in the playoffs. So I got to give them props. Warriors, they're just they've been kind of lackluster on the road, I'm not going to lie, but I do feel like the Warriors could, and they might have a small chance to maybe run it back. Next up at my number 6 spot, I have the Philadelphia 76ers. And now why do I have the Sixers here? Well, Joel Embiid this year, absolute monster season, an MVP-worthy season. This man was absolutely killing it this year. Definitely should be in consideration for that MVP, and he might go ahead and win that MVP, but we will go on and see. I love their starting lineup, I'm not going to lie. Embiid's balling this year. They got that boy James Harden, one of the greatest shooting guards of all time. That man can score, that man can ball. He hasn't really been scoring it that much this year, but he's been taking a true role at that point guard level, dishing out passes like crazy. They got some more. They got Tobias Harris. He's been kind of mid as usual. They have Tyrese Maxey has also had a good season, I would say, for the Sixers. They honestly have a decent squad. And now what I think why gives them a good chance to win the finals, even though they do like choking in the second round, I think this year, if there was a year for them not to choke, it would be this year. They got Harden. He's playing at a good level, and Embiid's playing at an MVP level. So I personally think they could get past it. But there are two more East teams on this list who I think would have over them to make the finals if they were to go make a run at the trophy. But I definitely still think the Sixers got a chance. They got a nice bench. They got a nice squad in general. I think the Sixers can win it, but there's still 2 teams in front that I believe could win it more. Alright, this might sound crazy to some of y'all, but up next I got the Los Angeles Clippers. Yes, I have the Clippers all the way at 5. These Clippers, man, I like the team. Kawhi Leonard, man, he is an all-around amazing NBA player. I know the load management is a big problem. Russell Westbrook has been a huge up-and-coming for them. He's actually been playing pretty nice, I'm not going to lie. So Clippers have basically been my dark horse all year to go to the finals. They've been my dark horse for like the past 2 years, but you know, Clippers want to do Clipper things, but I'm going to still believe in them. I know that they play Phoenix in the first round, and it kind of scares me. But remember, this is best chance to win the finals, not best chance to win your first round matchup. So, I have a strong feeling. I haven't mentioned Phoenix yet, which we'll get into that later. But like I said, Clippers, if PG was playing, I feel like this Sun series would be a whole another story. But I feel like it's still going to be tight, even though PG's not playing. If PG maybe comes back like Game 5, Game 6, if we get to that point, I think the Clippers could maybe have a chance. It's going to be really tight, though, because they play the Suns. But I think if they do end up getting past the Suns, they might have an actual strong chance of getting to the finals. I think they have a chance. I know some of y'all might be making it sound like I'm crazy. I really love this Clipper team. I really think they can do it if they get past Phoenix. That's why I have them so high. Sound crazy to some people why I have Denver at 4. But let me break it down why, in my opinion, Denver should be 4th. They're the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. So this whole year they've been playing out of their minds 1 seed. Jokic have another MVP season, almost averaging a triple-double. Here is my take on the Nuggets. The Nuggets are a really good team. They got Jokic. Jamal Murray's playing wonderfully. When he needs to get high, he can get high. MPJ's played he hasn't lived up to the hype, but he's still played meh, I would say. But think about it. If the Nuggets are the first seed in the West, they show why they are the 1 seed. In my opinion, I think they're going to show why. They're going to end up playing one of these teams, these 8th seeded teams in this play-in. I think whoever they're going to play, they're going to beat them. They're going to move on to the second round. The second round matchup for them it could be potentially scary. If they play Phoenix, I don't know about that one. If they were to play the Clippers, I don't know. If they were to play the Kings, maybe, I don't know. But I feel like they're most likely to play Phoenix in the second round, which, if you haven't been paying attention, I haven't mentioned Phoenix yet. But I think they have the second best chance to win the West just because of the fact Jokic playing out his mind, Jamal Murray playing super well. This team is a good team. They're the 1 seed in the West for a reason. I know they kind of fell off towards the end of the season, but that's another reason. They were resting a lot of their starters at the end of the season. But whoever this 8th seed is going to be, I'm pretty confident they can beat them. As long as it's not the Los Angeles Lakers, then that's another story. But as long as it's like, I don't know, if it's like OKC or something, I think they'll be OKC. Or it's like the Pelicans, like Pelicans without Zion, or the other team, the Timberwolves, who just had a whole bunch of problems today with Rudy Gobert punching people. But like I said, this Nuggets team is not to take for granted. A lot of people are taking them for granted, but I'm not taking them for granted. So I got the Nuggets at 4. At number 3, we have the team that represented the East last year in the finals. We have the Boston Celtics. Now, why do I think this Boston Celtics team can go to the finals, you might ask? Well, they got Jason Tatum, all-around superstar player. This man was absolutely terrorizing it this year. He's had some stinkers, but he's had a really good season. You got last year's Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart. I know he hasn't been doing that much this year, but he's still a good player, I'm not gonna lie. Al Horford this year, he's been Al Horford. Robert Williams, they got themselves a nice starting 5. And they got that man that I wish he was on his own team, Jaylen Brown. This man is an absolute bucket. Top 3 shooting guard in the league. You can't even debate me over it, because I'm right. Top 3 shooting guard. This team went to the finals last year. But I only think there's 2 teams that have a better chance of going to the finals. I mean, they went to the finals last year. They played Milwaukee. They played Miami. They beat them both. You know, they got to the finals. This team was balling last year in the playoffs, and I think they might be able to do it again. But there's 2 teams, one more East team, if you're catching up with it, who I think that can beat the Boston Celtics. Still an overall amazing team, great season for them. They're the 2 seed. I think they can get to the finals if they really want to, and they can push through these teams. They can definitely get to the finals. Also, did I mention they have 6th man of the year? Well, could be 6th man of the year, we don't know yet. Malcolm Brogdon coming off the bench. Yeah, they got a squad, but like I said, 3rd best team on this list to make the finals. I should say chance to make the finals, in my opinion. At the number 2 spot, I have the Phoenix Suns. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when KD got traded, I wasn't super high on the Suns even having a chance to get to the finals. So like, oh, KD, I know he's a great player. I love KD, one of my favorite players in the league. I'm like, with them injuries, man, I just don't see them. I just feel like something's gonna happen. But this is what I'm gonna say about the Phoenix Suns. Looking at their team, I think they have the 2nd best chance to get to the finals. Why, guys? Well, I mean, they're literally the king of the mid-range. They have Booker and KD at mid-range. So I'm just saying, if everyone stays healthy, they got a chance to go to the finals. They might be the best team in the West. I mean, just look at their path. First off, they got to play the Clippers in the first round, which that's going to be a very great matchup. I can't wait to see that. But I think Phoenix can win that. I genuinely think Phoenix can beat every team in the West. I don't think there's a team that could potentially stop them. The only team that I think potentially maybe could be the Clippers in the first round, because that's if PG comes back. If PG doesn't play that series, I don't see them really having a chance versus the Suns. But like I said, like this Suns team is really good. They're undefeated since KD has played. It's going to be a pretty good playoff series watching them play. But like I said, I think the Suns got the 2nd best chances as long as everyone stays healthy. They got Kevin Durant, man, one of the best players in the world. Absolute baller. Chris Paul has looked kind of washed this year, but I still think he can carry this team a little bit to another finals appearance. And at number 1, I have the best team in the East, the 1 seed, the Milwaukee Bucks, for the best chance to win the NBA Finals. Now, some people might call me biased because I'm a Bucks fan, but listen here. How can you not say the Bucks have the best chance to win the Finals? Let's break it down. They were the best team in the East. Number 1 seed, with debatably their 2nd player out for a majority of the season. Middleton's had knee problems, wrist problems all year, which hopefully he's back for the playoffs and he's healthy and he can get his stuff together. Otherwise, they got Middleton. Drew Holiday this season, just a terrorist on defense. This man was absolutely killing it. He was an all-star this year. He had a 55-point game. This man was in his bag on offense and on defense. Brook Lopez just came out of nowhere and turned into a defensive player for him, absolutely just blocking people and blocking the crap out of people. And he's been good on offense too. Like I said, Chris Middleton, when he's healthy, he's that guy. They have debatably the best player in the NBA in Giannis Antetokounmpo, an MVP candidate. This man's absolutely killing it this year. And their bench is amazing. They got Grayson Allen, he's decent. Bobby Portis, a double-double machine. They traded for Jay Crowder, who has been on fire in some of these games that they've had him in. They have Pat Cottington, he's a little streaky, but when he gets hot, he gets hot. This team is the best team, in my opinion, in the NBA. They have the deepest team. They killed it this year. They were first place in the East for a reason, because this team is an all-around amazing team. I feel like there should be no debate over it. They got a super deep team. Like I said, super deep. When Giannis is playing, when the Bucks' big three is all playing, I don't think there's no stopping this team. I think the only team that could possibly compete with them is Boston in the East, or Phoenix if they were to get to the finals. But like I said, Milwaukee Bucks, best chance to win the finals. You can't debate with me over it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe, drop a like, and like I said, comment who you guys think are winning the finals. Watch these two videos right here. I'm gonna let y'all know my video plan for next week is something to do with the NFL draft. Not this particular NFL draft coming up, but one of the ones in the past. And yes, I will have my mock draft coming up soon. So like I said, subscribe, turn on post notifications for all that good stuff that's coming out soon. Thank y'all. I hope all y'all have a nice day.